Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion deals with all sorts of gifts that people could bring. We're at the beginning of the book of Leviticus, and it really feels distant because it's the story of all of the offerings and gifts that people brought at the time when the temple stood. So it's sacrifices, basically. Bringing a meal offering of products that we grew in our yard, or bringing an animal offering, a sacrifice. And most of us obviously don't do those things now. But this question of offerings and why we gave them and how we do them now, I think is still very much a real question for us today. In those days, they were seen as offerings, not as gifts. And that's an important differentiation. An offering is something that I offer to you or to whomever else. It is something that comes from my heart and goes to the heart. Too often today when we connect with the synagogue, we think about our obligations, our duties. We do things like paying dues, which is a duty thing, not an offering thing. And I think part of what we as Jews need to do as we move and transform into the 21st century is to get back to this idea of offering that the Torah portion is so filled with this week. If we recognize that the Torah portion is calling us to offer whenever we have something to celebrate, or something for which to atone, or something to mark a new occasion, then so too in our own lives, in our own synagogue. If there's a good time, it's a wonderful time to make an offering, to say, I feel so good about what's going on that I want to offer this. And if there's a sad time, to also say, in my sadness, in the depths of my pain and sorrow, I want to offer something to help others, because I know that through giving, I will work through my pain and grief and be able to return to a level of normalcy. And hopefully we don't have too much guilt, but we all always carry a little bit. And when we do, the question is, what do you do with it? Do you let it eat at you, or do you say, I'm going to do something about it? And I'm going to take that guilt and turn it into good for other people. I think our Torah portion is calling us to do just that, to say, when one offers of oneself, one can feel a cleansing of the soul. Our tradition understood this with the idea of sacrifice, but today we still have the same concept. The means are different, so we make an offering that comes from our checkbook or our time, which is even more precious. But yet the same concept holds. We offer of ourselves to celebrate, to mourn, to make things better, to help us work through challenges. I hope that as this Shabbat dawns, that you'll find ways to give yourselves an offering, and then share the offerings of your own soul with others. I hope that you'll find that the temple is a worthy place to make an offering, and that you'll find new and creative ways to do that too. Because in doing that, we come back to our own tradition, and we strengthen it for future generations. Shabbat services this Friday evening will be at 7:30 here at the temple. Our adult choir will be singing, and we look forward to their music and their joy as we worship together. Saturday morning we have text study at 9, Torah study at 10, and services at 11. And Saturday evening we have a wonderful evening with Symphoria, our local symphony, doing a cabaret-style concert here at the temple. It promises to be an exquisite evening of music and friendship and joy, and I hope you can join us. I believe there are still tickets available. Call the temple office to make arrangements. And on Tuesday, our Scholar Series will continue. We welcome Dr. Corinne Smith, a longtime member of the temple, to speak about education and disabilities and how to help those with disabilities get the education that they so richly deserve as much as anyone else deserves. For now, I wish you a Shabbat of offerings, a Shabbat where you look to your soul and say, how can I make life better for others and myself? And then find the will to offer that goodness to others. Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.